The following is a presentation of Muddy River Sports.
Welcome to the inaugural edition of Shane on a Truck. We are in the parking lot of QU Stadium, rather fittingly, because sitting next to me, the general manager of the Quincy Doggy Paddlers, Mr. Brendan Steg. Brendan, thank you for joining me on the tailgate of the Toyota Tundra, at least new to us. We got it swapped out for a nice sleek red one. It's looking pretty sharp. So how you been, man?
It's been a wild ride, but I'm doing all right. Glad to be here and join you. Before we start, I just want to say to Mr. Shuckman, you've meant so much to this community and just in the sports world here in the Tri-States, and we're all thinking about you. We're all pulling for you. So yeah, I just wanted to start with that.
Absolutely, great way to start. And of course, this sponsored by Schottenkirk Toyota. They're gracious enough to lend us the truck to sit on the tailgate of. And Mr. Stake, you've played at this ballpark right behind us. You've played at the Rock across the way. You played football and baseball at QU. Spent some time in the athletic department as well. Went and did your thing over in North Carolina at a couple different places. Just kind of take me through your journey and kind of how it's led back to here.
Yeah, back in college, I played football for QU, then played baseball as well. I was a slot receiver from 2014, 2018, then a relief pitcher on the baseball team. Got to play under some pretty good coaches while I was here, and Coach Raby, who's now the athletic director, was our head coach on the baseball side of things, and just really grateful for my time, as a student athlete. Learned a lot of things, got the full college experience, met some really cool people, including yourself, and some lifelong friends, made some really great memories. And then when it was time to graduate and figure out what I was going to do after college, luckily I was a kind of a student intern in the athletic department with Ryan Snyder in the communications area, and kind of really opened my eyes to that side of things and what all the possibilities were there. So getting my foot in the door there, I was approached after I graduated by Ryan, and he's just like, what are you doing after you graduate? And I had no idea.
Who does really?
Right. So that led to another thing, and I ended up being a grad assistant for 2 years and getting my master's degree here at QU. So that was awesome, to further my education. And then after that was done, again, didn't really know what to do. That was my last year was 2020 May. So middle of COVID was, that March. Me and Will Connerly were up in the press box for a ball game, and all that stuff was happening. And then mid-game, I think, a lot of conferences and stuff were starting to cancel games. And not too long after that, we shut it down there that spring. And then the current SID at the time, Dylan Schick, who was my roommate, moved back to Texas to be with his family during COVID. And I was approached by the athletic director at the time, Marty Bell, and he asked me to come along full-time. And that was the start to my full-time career here at QU. So, getting back into Quincy after a couple stints at Catawba and Davidson in North Carolina, coming back here has just been an awesome experience. A lot of memories coming back, getting to meet, or to reconnect with familiar faces like yourself. And it's been a crazy journey, but I'm excited to be here.
And of course, you're not from Quincy originally. You're from just on the east side of St. Louis in Belleville, but this has almost become kind of your second home, hasn't it?
Yeah, and it's a big part of why I came back. A lot of my family is down there in St. Louis, and being about 11, 12 hours away from them the past couple years was rough. Didn't get to come home for Christmas this year, so when this opportunity popped up, I had to jump on it. And I'm blessed to call that my home, and this is my second home. I've spent probably about 7 years of my life here now, and now we're gonna run it back, and hopefully for a longer period of time.
And this is a new venture for you in a sense, but you're not new to the Prospect League. You played in the Prospect League in college as well.
Yeah, so played for the Hannibal Hoots when they were down there. The general manager at the time was our former pitching coach, Matt Stembridge, who's now associated with the Corn Belters. But yeah, I tell people all the time, like that year, because I played for a season after my my senior year. Each team's allowed four graduate players on each team, and I was, I think, one of two on that Hannibal team, and that was honestly the most fun I've had playing baseball. That's probably the hardest I was throwing ever in my career, and just I found something that season. It was a great group of guys, made some really good friends, and it was just a great time. I think also like getting up to come up here and play the Gems as a player that never really got recruited to play for the Gems. I took that personally, so every time I got to pitch for them, I always brought my best. But that was some of the best times of my life, baseball wise, was getting to play in the Prospect League, and hopefully I'll be able to kind of take some of that experience and bring it into this role.
I was gonna say you got some good times ahead as well. Tell me how this new role kind of came along.
Yeah, so again, I had that connection with Matt Stembridge, and I saw the job posted, and I reached out to him like, hey, what's this about? And he connected me with Jamie and Tim, part of our ownership group with Golden Rule Entertainment. And then one thing led to another. I applied, interviewed, all that fun stuff, and then got offered the position, and we're here now. It's a lot different than what I've been doing in the past with sports information and athletic communication stuff, but there's some similarities there, and having the familiarity with this town and the ballpark and the relationship with QU already being there with Raby, and it made a lot of sense.
Gotcha. And we'll talk more about your connection to Quincy and kind of what you plan on bringing to the Quincy Doggy Paddlers in the Prospect League. But for now, we'll take a short break and we'll be back on Shuck/Shane on a Truck, brought to you by Schottenkirk Toyota. Welcome back to Shuck/Shane on a Truck, brought to you by Schottenkirk Toyota on the tailgate of the Toyota Tundra here in the parking lot of QU Stadium, chopping it up with the general manager of the Quincy Doggy Paddlers of the Prospect League, Mr. Brendan Sake. And Mr. Sake, we'll just kind of continue our conversation about kind of what the Prospect League's all about, kind of what you plan to bring and bringing summer baseball back to Quincy.
Yeah, and it's exciting because the town hasn't had it since 2023, and the Gems left kind of on a high note with that Prospect League championship appearance there last year. And I think that there's a real hunger for baseball in this community, so being able to bring that back to this town, and a town that's meant so much to me, is a thrill. It's exciting. And also with what I was talking about earlier with my experience in the Prospect League being so positive, I just want to be able to bring that for the players, for the fans, and everybody involved. Just bringing a fun, family-friendly atmosphere, a ton of energy, an exciting product on the field, competitive baseball, but also some new things that maybe hadn't been done in the past, and bringing a fresh perspective on things.
I see. And of course, we're about a month or so away from the start of the season. Just tell me what this last month and a half or so have kind of been like, and what the kind of lead up to the season's like.
Yeah, it's been a whirlwind. A lot of things that need to be done. A lot of things still needed to get done. But the roster's shaping up good. We have over 20 guys signed right now, so we're looking good on that front. But like I tell people, knowing from experience, the team you start with isn't the team you're going to end with. A lot of these college guys will have inning limits or at-bat limits, things like that. So it's a always evolving process. But that part of it's been fun. But then, the side of it that I, have started to undertake with the sponsorship stuff, host families, just the extracurricular stuff, food and beverage, all the things that go into, running a college summer baseball team that maybe I haven't had a hand in before with my past jobs, but really getting exposed to here in this first go around. And this first year, it's likely to be kind of a trial and error run. We're gonna figure out what we think works and what we'll find out what doesn't work. And we just ask for a little bit of patience, as we kind of get things set in this first year. And I think once we have a good idea of how this first year ends up going, it'll be hitting the ground running and we'll be rolling.
And you said it earlier, this is a baseball hungry town. This town absolutely loves its baseball, and I think you're as good a guy as any to help kind of bring that energy back to this ballpark here in the summer that we missed last summer. And just what are some things that you've learned along this journey, or maybe some things that have surprised you? Some things that are easier or harder than you might have anticipated before coming into this?
The one thing that stood out right away was just the outpouring of, community engagement around this. There was a lot of talk, obviously, when we announced the name, positive or not, but, the fact that people were talking about it was exciting, and just to see like our engagement on Facebook and people kind of be interested in, what we're going to be bringing is exciting. But a lot of the stuff that, I'm learning as we go, like we talked about earlier, is just the extracurricular things outside of what's being done on the field, the in-game promotion stuff, the prospecting, and talking to businesses, that side of things has been kind of a learning curve for me, and I've leaned on, our ownership group in a lot of those areas, and they've been awesome. And they've, been really supporting and been a big help in those areas. But, for me, it's like I'm still pretty young, and I'm still going to be learning, and I'm willing to learn and get new experiences. So that's the biggest thing for me, is just keeping a positive mindset and keeping an open mind, and and just doing it the right way.
Because ultimately that translates to what fans see here at the ballpark, whether that's the players on the field or the promotions and all. Are there any promotions that you can disclose? Some things fans can look forward to?
Yeah, there's some things that we've already announced. We've gotten some good traction on with the Mini Kiss Live. I think that's going to be fun and exciting. It'll be a little bit different, from what has been done in the past. And then obviously the staple of summer baseball here in Quincy is those firework nights, and we're so excited to be able to bring those every Friday night, just not around 4th of July. And we've been blessed to have a Willie partner and a really supportive partner with Apple to come on board and sponsor those nights. And they're also celebrating their 70th anniversary. They're a staple in this community as well, so for them to get behind us for an important event like that, with fireworks, and the firework nights here are huge, so that's been awesome. And then Amazing Tyler, we got that at the end of the year, and there'll be some more stuff as we get closer here in early May that we'll announce.
Gotcha. We're certainly looking forward to that. We're looking forward to opening day, the last week of May 27th, opening day, and then a home opener May 28th against one of the other best names in the league, the Pistol Shrimp.
Yeah, and then the fact that they're also the defending Prospect League champions is awesome. That'll be our kind of first opening night game. The first 2 nights they're going to be here in town. So the fact that we're a new team, our new ownership, new team, new look, and then we get to host the defending champs for our first 2 home games is huge. And it's going to be an exciting weekend coming off the heels of Memorial Day.
Certainly looking forward to it. Hopefully the weather is as nice as it is today. I mean, it, as crazy as it's been the last couple weeks or so, this is absolutely gorgeous. We couldn't ask for, hopefully the same on May 28th.
For sure. I hope so, and I hope we got hopefully keep the rain away, and hopefully it's 80 and sunny.
We can always hope for the best. Don't always get it in this part of the country, but hey, all we can do is hope. Well, Mr. Sake, anything else you'd like to add before we send people on their way?
I just want to talk about, going back to Matt, and I forgot to hit on this on my journey, but one of my first ever jobs in sports was at the Herald Whig. David Adam and Matt Shuckman kind of took me under their wing as a sports clerk. I remember leaving practices at the stadium from football at 6 o'clock, run to the calf, get a quick dinner, and then head down to the newsroom and write up stories down there at the Whig. But I just want to thank him for kind of getting my career started in this with and I learned a lot how to write about sports, how to write correctly, and all that fun stuff. And they really took me under my wing, and just again, we're thinking about you and we appreciate you.
And same here.
Yeah.
We overlapped there for about a year or so. We spent some late nights there at the office, but they were all worth it and all a lot of fun. And Shuck will be back on this tailgate sooner rather than later.
Yeah, for sure.
That's Brendan Sake, the general manager of the Quincy Doggy Paddlers, here on Shuck/Shane on a Truck, brought to you by Schottenkirk Toyota.
Muddy River Sports. Our home, our sports.